Hello, I'm Shelby Schultz, and I'm going to be doing my fourth tech task for my Ecomp 355 class. I was instructed to make a presentation about something I care about, something relevant to my major and minor, so I'm going to be talking about the importance of art education in our current education system. First and foremost, I believe that art is a universal language. Every kid likes some form of art, be it dancing, singing, getting messy with paints, the whole deal. No matter what culture you're from, you love the arts at some point in your life. In fact, the arts often play a huge role in cultures from around the world. And additionally, most kids find them relaxing. I sure do. When I'm feeling stressed, I go and I draw. Lots of kids doodle when they listen in class, and overall, everybody likes something about the arts. So why are they not viewed with greater importance? As a matter of fact, there are many residual negative stigmas surrounding the arts as a whole. They've long been seen as pretentious, and I guess this stigma links to prior to the Renaissance period. People of the lesser class didn't have enough money to go into theater productions, for example, and they were kicked out. Only the wealthy could go. Some believe that only the talented can be artists too, so they often dismiss it when really everyone, if given the chance, would be pretty good at art, in my opinion. The government seems to see it as disposable even. Many schools cut art out of the system entirely. As soon as there's a budget cut, the first thing to go is the arts, because they're not seen as mandatory. The sciences and maths, they are given preference over the arts because I guess they don't see it as important as it really is. On the other hand, art isn't taken seriously when it is available. Kids take it for an easy credit to pass. Math and science often have definite, very straightforward, easily marked answers. Art, however, requires critical thinking from the teachers. It is ultimately the teacher's views on art and judgment of each individual student's skill that determines how hard they are marked, the mark that they're assigned, how well it was done, the whole deal. So the marking system for teachers is a lot more difficult than with the other programs, and the kids that take it, a lot of the time they don't try as hard as they could because it's not taken seriously. In conclusion, I'm going to provide a personal example of how the arts helped bring the community together and really gave the community something to talk about. When I was in elementary school, a lot of the babas in the area all agreed to come to the school and help the students all create Ukrainian Easter eggs. Where I come from, there's a large concentration of Ukrainian families, Icelandic families, so this was something that was pretty well practiced in the area by a lot of families. But to people like me who had just moved there, we hadn't really experienced something. So our whole school got together in the Central Commons area, and it didn't matter what grade, what age group, whether or not you were from one culture or the other, if you were Ukrainian or Icelandic. The classrooms there were very traditional. There was one door, desks in rows, maybe a window because the building was so old. So a lot of the time I didn't get to see or I didn't get to communicate with who were from a grade below or higher than me. And while the rest of the students got to talk with them outside of school because they were related or because their families knew the other family or whatever, I never really got to communicate with the other in the school. They were seen as kind of scary because when I first moved there, I was 2 and I was little. I didn't know them, but it was a small town and everybody knew me. But in creating these Pisanki Easter eggs, the whole school got together. I talked to people I never would have to create these little eggs, and the people from the community, like Babas and the Guidos, they came and helped kids of all ages, of all families, to create these. If we hadn't have had that artistic experience school-wide or even in the school, even if it was with select groups, none of that communication would have happened. So what I'm trying to say is the arts education program should be taken more seriously because while not as straightforward or maths as sciences, it's still very important in our everyday lives. And if we would increase the focus put on the arts education system, I think that our communities would be a lot better off. And that sums up my recording. Thank you for listening.